In the lush jungles of Malaysia, Indonesia and Singapore, where the air hangs heavy with humidity and the scent of tropical blooms, there exists a warning passed from father to son, from husband to friend. Beware the night. Beware the scent of frangipani that comes too strong on the breeze. Beware beautiful women encountered alone after dark. But above all, beware the banana groves when the moon is high. I speak of the Pontianak. Unlike benign spirits that merely haunt or mischievous entities that simply frighten, the Pontianak hunts with purpose, with memory, with an undying hatred that transcends death itself. Her very name is whispered, derived from Perempuan Mati Beranak, meaning woman who died in childbirth. For to speak it loudly is to risk summoning her attention. By appearance, she embodies a terrible duality. At a distance, she presents as a hauntingly beautiful young woman with pale skin and flowing black hair that cascades down to her ankles. Her white dress, traditional funeral attire in many Southeast Asian cultures, billows slightly even when no wind blows. For a moment she seems like any other beautiful woman, perhaps lost or waiting for someone beneath the trees. It is this initial beauty that serves as her lure. For when she turns toward her victim, always men, particularly those who have wronged women, her true nature reveals itself. Her face transforms into a horrific visage with hollow, sunken eyes that glow red in darkness. Her fingers extend into razor-sharp claws, capable of disemboweling a man with a single swipe. Most terrifying of all is her back, which displays a gaping hole, the physical manifestation of her traumatic death and the empty void where her child should have been. Her approach is heralded by unmistakable signs for those wise enough to recognize them. First comes the overwhelming scent of frangipani flowers, sweet, almost intoxicating, growing stronger as she draws near. Then the sound of a baby crying in the distance, sometimes soft as if muffled, other times piercing and desperate. This crying, coming from places where no infant could possibly be, has sent many a night traveller running in terror. But most distinctive is her laughter, beginning as a soft, feminine giggle that progressively transforms into a high-pitched, maniacal cackle that freezes the blood of all who hear it. Villagers say this laugh contains all the pain, rage and madness of her violent death, concentrated into a sound that can drive listeners to the edge of sanity. The Pontianak makes her home among banana trees, which hold deep symbolic significance in Malay culture. These plants, which die after bearing fruit once, mirror her own tragic fate, to perish after bringing forth new life. The soft trunk of the banana tree is said to resemble human flesh, and at night the rustling of its broad leaves can sound disturbingly like whispers or weeping. Her origins lie in profound tragedy. In life, she was a woman who died while pregnant or during childbirth, often due to violence, betrayal, or neglect. Some accounts speak of women murdered by unfaithful husbands, abandoned by lovers upon learning of their pregnancy, or victims of sexual assault who died delivering unwanted children. This traumatic, unjust end transforms them into the vengeful spirit that returns to exact punishment on the men responsible. And, in her blind rage, any male unfortunate enough to cross her path. The Pontianak's hunting method is as methodical as it is terrifying. She first appears as the beautiful woman luring her target away from safety, often toward banana groves where her power is strongest. As the victim approaches, entranced by her beauty, she reveals her true form. Paralyzed with fear, the man can neither run nor fight as she attacks, not to kill quickly but to inflict maximum suffering. Her long, sharp nails pierce the abdomen, tearing through flesh to reach the internal organs. With surgical precision that belies her feral appearance, she extracts these organs one by one, saving the liver for last considered in many Southeast Asian cultures to be the seat of the soul. Some accounts claim she consumes these organs, others suggest she merely delights in the victim's agony, leaving them to die slowly, while she watches with cold satisfaction. Most disturbing are reports that her victims hear the crying of an infant throughout their ordeal, perhaps the child she lost, perhaps their own conscience giving voice to her unborn baby's suffering. This psychological torment compounds the physical agony, ensuring her revenge satisfies both body and spirit. Protection against the Pontianak has evolved through centuries of terrifying encounters. Carrying iron nails is considered essential when travelling at night, as driving a nail into the hole in her neck is said to transform her back into a beautiful woman who may become docile and even grateful to her saviour. However, remove the nail and her monstrous form and rage return instantly, a fact many men have learned too late. Recitation of Islamic prayers, particularly the azan, call to prayer, is believed to drive her away, as are certain verses from the Quran. In more traditional communities, special amulets blessed by bomo, shamans, offer protection, often containing ingredients like garlic, salt or iron filings, all materials anathema to her spectral form. Modern interpretations see the Pontianak as a manifestation of societal fears surrounding childbirth in eras when maternal mortality was high, as well as a cultural warning about the mistreatment of women. Her specific targeting of unfaithful or abusive men serves as a powerful reminder of consequences for those who betray their responsibilities toward mothers and children. Yet in rural areas of Malaysia and Indonesia, belief in the Pontianak remains more than metaphorical. Banana groves near cemeteries are avoided after dark. Houses near burial grounds display protective symbols above doors and windows. Men who must travel at night carry iron nails and recite prayers at regular intervals. Perhaps most telling is how the legend persists even in urbanized Singapore, where gleaming skyscrapers have replaced jungle groves. Here, the Pontianak is said to haunt new housing developments built over former plantations or burial grounds, her cries sometimes heard in the air-conditioning ducts of modern apartments, her scent inexplicably filling elevators stopped between floors. So tonight, should you find yourself in Southeast Asia and catch the sudden overwhelming scent of frangipani flowers where none should bloom, if you hear an infant crying from an impossible direction, if you glimpse a beautiful woman with impossibly long black hair standing alone beneath banana trees, remember the Pontianak. Look away immediately. Drive an iron nail into your palm if necessary to break her hypnotic hold, and run without looking back toward light and the company of others. For her vengeance is as patient as it is terrible, and in her eyes all men bear some responsibility for the injustice that created her.